Hello, everybody. Revolver Guy, prepping for poor people. Today's video, I want to talk about some things that are going on in the political and world climate. Wasn't able to do anything outside today. I'm inside. I'm working on getting some food bagged up. We went to the store, and I try to get some every time we go if I can. I got 50 pounds of flour and 50 pounds of sugar, things like that, beans and rice. I always try to get some staples and get them put into Mylar bags. And I usually order my Mylar bags off Amazon. You can get 60 of them, 60-gallon bags, which seems to be a good size. They're not too big to deal with, and they hold quite a bit. I think it holds about 5 pounds or so of rice and beans, things like that, 5 or 6 pounds. And so I've been working on that today, doing a little here since it's wet outside and can't get anything done. But anyway, what I want to talk about today was the things going on around the world and what we can see happening and why it's so important to prep and to get ready now. I tell you, folks, this is really some very interesting times that we're in, and kind of dangerous times, and some, I would say, almost scary times. Not really scary though. It's, we have to have the faith in God, and we have to prepare. That's what this is all about, and that's exactly why I started this channel, to try to help people get ready for this type of situation, because this is really starting to form up now. You see Trump and Netanyahu, leader of Israel, they're together. They're really working together. Trump is back in Israel, and the global elites, they hate that. They hate Trump. They hate Netanyahu. They know that in order to control this world, they're going to have to control Israel, and they're going to have to control the United States. And in order to do that, they certainly can't have nationalists like those two in office. So you've got all this going on around. You've got Trump declaring the Republican Guard or Revolutionary Guard, whatever they are in Iran. He just declared that group within that country a terrorist organization, which they are. I mean, if you study anything about it, know anything about that group and what they do, they are a terrorist organization, funded and given their authority through and by Iran. So it is really, I tell you, all these things are going on. You can see that you've got Russia, China, and Iran. They really hate Israel, and they're really working together. And then you got Venezuela that they're throwing in the mix, and China has sent troops to Venezuela. Russia sent troops to Venezuela. There's a lot going on down there with the oil, and so you have us on the other side, pretty much us and Israel. And what part of Europe would join us, I don't know. Probably not much of Europe, if anything. It's obvious that the government of England certainly wouldn't support us. I think a lot of the people there would. I mean, they did vote for Brexit, but they haven't even let them put Brexit into action yet. They're still part of the European Union. So there's a lot of corruption, but there's also a lot of countries that are teaming up, so to speak, and they're really starting to push their agendas forward. And you got this China, Russia, Iran thing. I tell you, folks, it's really it's very biblical. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you, but you can just see it all coming to a front now. And then they don't want Trump in there because Trump is not a globalist. Trump's a lot of things. He's a lot of things I don't really care for, but he's not a globalist. And they don't like the idea of the United States doing their own thing. They want us to fall right in line like everybody else. And we are the power in this world. I mean, we are the military power that when we're going along with their agenda, they love us because anything they need done, anything they need to push, anytime they need to take somebody out, just like we did in Iraq, just like we did in Libya. If they need that done, we get it done. We have the most powerful military in the world. Nobody can really touch us. And they're doing the same thing in Venezuela. Right? That's all that is a attempt to force Venezuela to control their oils, what it really is about. Venezuela is the second largest oil producing nation in the Western Hemisphere, right behind the United States. So we, as a country, economically speaking, don't want them to be able to just pump their oil out and go sell it anywhere for whatever price they want. I may have spoken about this before, but oil is what our currency is based on. It's not based on gold anymore. Oil is the number one thing now. Oil is gold. And so we have these interests in Venezuela to make sure that they don't just start selling their oil to whoever and for whatever. We want to make sure that they use our dollar, the U.S. dollar, to trade any oil with. Saudi Arabia has agreed to do that since back in the early 70s, and that's what OPEC does, and that's where all this comes in. Now you have all this going on, and we as a country have to make sure that nobody is able to go and just spend money anytime they want to, or spend money on oil unless it's traded with our dollar. That's the only thing keeping our dollar afloat. It's the only thing keeping our economy afloat. So, is it dirty? Yeah, it's dirty. I mean, this whole system is going to come crashing down one day, and it makes you wonder when. You know, is it going to be World War III? Everybody's kind of lining up now. Everybody's sort of separating out. The powers that be right now in Venezuela, they are on board with the Russians and Chinese. Of course, they owe them a lot of money, and that guy down there that's running it, his name slips my mind, but he is one that's trying to pump his oil out and go through those channels, United States and Saudi Arabia, and them. They don't like that. And quite frankly, we can't allow it, and we're not going to allow it in order for our economy to stay afloat. So when they say that wars happen because of oil, they do. It's like I said, oil is like gold. It'd be the same thing if a certain country had a lot of gold and they were just going to flood the market with it and make it worthless. It would kill our dollar. It would kill a lot of countries, and so that's why we've always been in bed with Saudi Arabia, a dirty country like they are. The government's just as bad as it can be, but because nearly half the oil in the world is traded, through them and by them through OPEC and the U.S. dollar, well, that props our economy up. So politicians sold us out years ago. There's nothing Trump can do about it. He's not going to stop it. When he said he wanted to drain the swamp, I thought that'd be a great idea. I knew he'd never be able to do it. Too much corruption. You know, all the little arguing that people do, CNN and Fox and all these news organizations have the people just arguing and fussing about things, and they run stories to basically just to make people get fired up about issues to sidetrack them from what really is going on and what the most important issues are. And that's that Russia, China, Iran, and these countries are all coming together. And when it's all said and done, I'll tell you folks, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, but there's a lot of alliances been made, and I fear in the end it's going to be the United States and Israel against the world. That all goes back to biblical prophecy and the United States falling. The whole world will turn against Israel in the end. And the only way that can happen is if the most powerful country in the world is not backing Israel anymore. How are we going to stop backing Israel? We're going to have to be defeated. We're going to have to be brought down to our knees, where either we don't exist or we are so weak that we don't even matter to anybody else in the world anymore. Number one way to do that would be to crash our dollar, crash our economy. So I don't know what's going to end up happening. I don't know how this country's going to end up following, but it surely is. It deserves to. What we've done, the atrocities that we've done, just killing babies and just the rampant deviant behavior that we've allowed to go on. And we're surely going to be judged for it. But that's a different whole subject. Excuse me. That's another subject for another time. So as the political winds shift and change and things keep going on, you see, I mean, nobody's ever seen people want to get rid of a president as bad as they do Trump. And a lot of the people that say they hate him is because they're listening to all this propaganda about, well, he does this and he's racist, he's bigot, and he. It's just nothing. It's just they're doing this because they want people on their side. Because when this thing falls, they've got to have somebody to blame it on. They don't want people turning to the banks and being angry with the banks, because that's whose fault it'd be. People that own the banks. But they've got enough now where they have enough on Trump to really make him look bad if this comes down. I don't know what's going to happen. The election in 2020 is huge. If Trump gets reelected, I tell you, I don't see them letting that go on. I really don't. Because at that point, they're going to know that the American people are serious about not being globalists and about our nation and our nationalist views. And so if that happens, I would say they would crash that thing as hard and fast as they could. If he doesn't get reelected, then better hold on, because that means the globalists are going to run and do anything they want to do. So I think either way, something's going to happen in the next few years. I can't guarantee it. I'm just a man that studies things and looks at things. I try to read different news reports and get as much information as I can and put it all together and see where the pieces kind of fit. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the world's ending tomorrow. But there certainly is a lot of things going on, and it's certainly interesting times. I'd love to hear your comments on it. I'd like to hear your opinions. Tell me what you think. If you would, like and subscribe. And remember, more importantly now than ever, all gun laws are unconstitutional.